This is what I come up with. It took about 2 weeks, but I wasn't working 8 or 6 hours a day, mind you, though. The process of creating something new from scratch, like I did here, takes time, and it's a slow process because I wasn't using some other design for inspiration. I was crafting something from scratch. I've spent a couple of hours every single day, then just drop it, go back to my work, come back the next day, and look at the progress with fresh eyes. And you probably are not seeing what I'm seeing on my screen because I use Dell Ultra Sharp monitor, and when I'm designing something, I use 4 devices. I use Dell Ultra Sharp monitor, I use Samsung phone, I have an old laptop, really old laptop, which I use, and I also have a TV back in my bedroom. And I use all those devices because colors look different, even layout looks different, shades, shadows, and so on. Next, testing. I've done multiple tests, and what I mean by tests, I mean comparison tests. I do lots of comparisons, and I'm talking about A, B, sometimes C comparisons. For example, if I want to change font size, I do side-by-side comparison. If I want to change color or compare color, I do side-by-side comparison or comparisons and multiple comparisons, sometimes hundreds. So what you're seeing here is the final result, but you're not going to see all the tests I've done. And I know it is very hard to appreciate a design, especially when you are not involved in the process. You just look at the final design and like, I don't know, looks okay. That, if you're a really nice and polite person, of course. But if you're not so nice, you would be, I don't know, this doesn't impress me. Okay, let's get down to business. Figma file is down below in the description. You can make a copy and do whatever you want. You can use this banner for your own projects, for commercial projects, it doesn't matter. Link to credit card 3D model is also down below. It was created using Spline. If you want to see how it was created, you can check my other YouTube video where I show how it was created on spline.com. The original idea when I was designing this 3D model, and I mean a 3D credit card on Spline, was to create something unique. When I was designing a banner, I wanted to actually sell this credit card, to create a banner to sell the card, not to advertise features or list, bullet points of things you will get. No, I wanted to create a sales pitch and sell the card. For example, financial institutions like banks are not doing this. They just list features and it all looks pretty much the same. But even small companies, startups, are not doing this. Even if they have a high-end card, they are not actually selling it. They just list general statements, features, and that's about it. Me, on the other hand, I wanted to sell the card. This is why I wrote my own text. It went through multiple revisions, and this is the final draft. I'm going to zoom out and let's go to the first frame. This is exactly why I love 3D modeling. I actually love it because you can export any part separately and correct colors in the way you want, and then combine everything together. And by doing this, you have control, the freedom and control that you wouldn't have if you're doing photo shoot in a studio. Let's quickly jump on Spline. This is the card, and now let's look on the right side. Position is set to 0, and rotation x-axis is set to -63. And this is exactly what I'm using for the banner. When I was designing this 3D model, I instantly felt that I'm just going to tilt it up front and use it in my banner later, because I was thinking about the banner I'm going to design later. But once I finished with this 3D model, I went through multiple variations. I tilted left, right. I was already using this card in the banner. I lifted one side up and one side down, but I decided to go back to the original idea I had when I was designing this card and use as it is now. In order to use this card on Figma and have control over each part, I've exported 3 images. Exporting specific parts is very easy. For example, if you want to export this credit card without the background, all you have to do is go left, hide, export, choose image, and choose that you don't want background, and export as PNG format. That's it. You can go back, unhide, hide, let's say, circles, do the same, export, image, hide background, PNG, export. This is how it works. It's very easy. And this is what I've done. Back here on Figma. Here I have 3 images. One image is just the metal card with nothing else on top. On the right side, I have all the parts on top, but no card, no metal card underneath. Last image is just the parts that are designed in white color because I wanted to make them brighter separately. Here on the left, I have a frame called Card Frame Cut. Let's expand. And you can see that all the layers are laid down and underneath is card background. Let's zoom in and let's check the first layer. It's white. You see? It's much brighter because I could adjust the brightness separately on this white layer. Underneath is card colors and underneath is background. And I filled with red color just to see it more clearly. I can quickly show how I did that. Okay, let's zoom out. I'm going to take this, make a copy here. I'm holding Alt-Option key to make a copy. Zoom in. I'm going to hold Alt-Option key and double click. And once you do that, you can adjust the size of this image. For example, you can cut in half if you want. Let's do that just for this example and enter. And this is your cut. This is what I did here on this frame called Card Frame Cut. And once you're done with that, you can go here and just paste this frame. Okay, I'm going to delete. This is what happened. This frame is called Web Template. I'm going to go through each layer here on the left side and explain what I did. Let's start from the bottom. I'm going to unhide, and here I have a frame called Web Screen. I just wanted to set layout size without using rulers, so I decided to create a frame, lock it down. It can be moved now. And on the right side, you can see the width is set to 1440, height to 1024, and I added stroke, red color, just so I could see it. Top header is here at the top. I'm going to expand. It has logo on the left, button on the right side, and some buttons at the center. It's just a simple auto layout, and if you want to learn more, check out free video here on YouTube where I show the basics, how to create a card. And if you want to learn even more, I have a training course which is over 8 hours long, where I teach all the intricacies of using auto layout, because believe me, auto layout can get very complicated. I'm going to hide top header layer, and let's move down to the second layer from the top called Luxurious Light. And what this layer does, it gives us light. I'm going to hide just for now. Look at the text, you deserve the best, luxurious. It looks kind of bland, but if I unhide, it lights up. How I did that? It's just a simple rectangle with a black fill, but instead of using normal blend mode, I used color dodge, and I set layer blur to 100. And we can also hide web screen frame, because I don't want to see those red bars on the left and right side anymore. You deserve the best text layer is right there, just below luxurious text layer. And it's San Francisco Pro font, thin, 72, and has radial gradient underfill. If you are on Apple, you don't have to worry about getting San Francisco Pro font. But if you are on Windows like me, you have to get it. You have to download and install on your Windows machine and add on Figma. Don't know how to do it? Don't worry. Just check out my YouTube channel. I have a video showing how to add San Francisco Pro font on Figma, if you're using Windows machine, of course. Luxurious text is right there, just above you deserve the best layer. And it was created using Boolean operation. Let's expand. Here I have flipped image, and below I have a text layer, luxurious. So it's a text layer. Let's check the settings on the right side. It's San Francisco Pro display, bold, size is 176, and fill is set to black. Now look what happens if I hide the text layer. If I unhide, you can see how the texture was molded or printed on top of the text layer, luxurious. I'm going to show you how it works. I'm going to create new text layer, type Figma. It's San Francisco Pro Text Bold 200. I'm going to create a copy of this image, expand, and move this up. I want the text to be underneath and the image should be on top. I'm going to select both here on the left side. Click this drop down menu for Boolean operations. And now I'm going to choose intersect selection. And that's it. This is how you create this kind of thing. Note one thing, and this is kind of important, that let's say you want to flip this image, let's say rotate, and you rotate like that, and I'm going to type 180 here, and you rotate because you want brighter side to be on the left side, and if you move down here and select this and this, intersect, it did the same thing. It did the same thing. Brighter side is still on the right side. But why? I rotated the image, but Figma didn't care. This is why you have to export. Let's say you want to rotate, you rotate, export as PNG, import back. This is the original. This is called flipped, and this is called cropped. I'm talking about texture frame here. Original, flipped, cropped. And this is the trick. Back to the main template. I'm going to collapse this. Let's talk about the card and the layers inside. For card background layer, which is at the bottom, I'm talking about this one, I've used Figma settings here on the right side, and I adjusted saturation. I moved it to the left, and I adjusted shadows. That's it. This is what I did. For card colors and whites, I've used Photoshop because I really like the flexibility and some features like selective color. This is the one I really like. You can select the color and make adjustments. It's very flexible. So when it comes to colors, color grading, color adjustment, I use Photoshop most of the time. Figma is great, but Figma can beat Photoshop. This text is called description text here on the left side. I'm going to expand its auto layout. On the left side, I have a description, short description. It's also San Francisco Pro, light, size is 24, and it has gradient. And on the right side, I have powerful and secure. It's also San Francisco Pro display, thin, size is 72, and it has gradient as well. There's a layer that might not be visible for you. It's called bottom BG light. It's just a simple rectangle. Here's the fill and a blur set to 800. I'm going to hide right now, and the background goes black. And now I'm going to unhide. There's a light, a subtle light. At least on my screen, I'm using Dell Ultra Sharp right now, so it's a subtle light. Last item I haven't covered is this button, call to action button, or CTA, order your Platinum card now. How it was created. Go to CTA Buttons frame. Here I have 3 buttons. First is a button created using auto layout. I can double click and type anything I want. It has a border, it has corner radius, all the settings are on the right side. The second button was created using multiple Boolean operations. Let me show you how it works. It's called filled on the left side. I'm going to expand. There's an intersect inside. I'm going to expand. There's a texture image and a rectangle. I'm going to copy rectangle 38. I'm going to hold Alt or Option key and just drag out. Change the color to red. I'm going to click on rectangle 39 and drag out here, up top. And now you can see it. Now I'm going to click on this image texture and copy Alt or Option key and drag out here. And do the same thing. Click here on the left side on this layer and drag here up top. Now I'm going to select both layers and choose Boolean operation intersect. This is the background. Now, if I want to cut the text inside, I can select this text from original auto layout, drag this out and select intersect plus this text layer on the left side and choose exclude. And this is how you can create this. Button. Last button was also created using multiple Boolean operations. I'm going to collapse this layer. Let's expand here and let's see. First intersect is the text inside and this intersect is the border. Let's start from the top. I'm going to select this text and copy this text here. I'm going to drag this layer here and change the text color to red. Now I'm going to select the texture. I'm going to copy the texture here, drag this here. I'm going to select texture and text and click intersect. We have text here. All right. Now the border. I'm going to collapse this. The border. Let's start from the rectangle 38. I'm going to copy here, drag this up top, change the color to red. Note that it's not fill, now it's stroke. We're setting stroke here, not fill, because we just want the border. I'm going to select image texture, create a copy here, drag this out here, select both, intersect, we have the border, and I can move this down here, select both, and group. And that's it. I'm going to zoom out and show you the button here. It's much smaller because the original button I've created here was bigger and I liked it bigger, but after a while, after some time, I looked at the template and I didn't like this big button anymore. So what I did is quite simple. I just clicked here, created a copy, Now letter K on my keyboard to scale down. I think it was 0.75. This is how it works. This is the final frame I want to show you. It's called Facebook banner. It is 1200 by 630. I'm going to zoom out and show you how to create a banner, let's say for Facebook. I'm going to delete what's inside. Now I'm going to select everything inside web template. I don't need top header. I don't need CTA or web screen frame. I'm going to hold Alt or Option key, drag here, click letter K on my keyboard, scale it down, or you can scale it down even more. I hope this video was helpful. Grab this template and put to good use.